This video is sponsored by Cake Wallet, the easiest open source wallet to store Bitcoin, Monero, and Litecoin securely on mobile and desktop devices. When buying, selling, and exchanging crypto or trading for gift cards, Cake Wallet ensures privacy and security, giving you the keys to your coins.
I'm doing great. You know, your energy is it's so contagious. I love being on the show. You make me happy.
You make me happy, Tom. You really
Oh,
do. Make sure, what else makes me happy is our sponsor. Check out Cake Wallet in the live chat. Link is in the live chat in the description. Oh, sorry, I was muted for the first second. Hello, welcome to the show, the Missing Crypto Show. I'm Randi Hipper here to talk about life, liberty, property, charts with Tom Crown. Tom is awesome. We've been friends for a really long time now, Tom. Like, how long have we been friends? Like 2-3 years?
I don't know. Yeah, in crypto years, like at least a lifetime. I don't know. It feels like years ago, years and years ago. But so does everything now. Everything feels like years ago.
Exactly.
Not long enough.
No, not long enough at all. Tom is amazing. Tom is like the TA man. I always follow him. His name is Papa Tom in my book. So if I call him Papa Tom and I slip, you guys understand. It's just a wild ride with crypto, and it's just hard to navigate the social landscape in crypto, especially like who do you align with, who do you not? Like, are you gonna go sour one day? Are you gonna go rogue? Like, these are all the things
Never
that
go
like,
bear.
yeah, never go bear. And we've seen that come out and in this cycle, especially where people make some crazy calls and then they kind of just mess up a little bit, to say the least, without naming names. But I think it's really important to pay attention to the market, to pay attention to the sentiment. And speaking of the sentiment, how do you feel about the sentiment of the market now? Do you think we're back? Are we back?
We never left. We were always here. And we're certainly more back than we were all year, right? This whole year we've seen price move up. People kind of be skeptical every step of the way. What we were hearing last week was really like, when is it dipping? I want to buy. When is it dipping? And then we went down.
Yep.
I don't know. Are people buying? Did people buy? The people that were waiting? Probably not.
You know, it reminds me of that meme where it's like, you know, those two kiosks and it's like 30K Bitcoin, it's a ghost town, and then 45K Bitcoin, 44K Bitcoin, it's like the line is out the door because people were begging, Tom. They were begging, let's see 20K Bitcoin again. And we saw 20K Bitcoin this cycle, yet it was a ghost town. It was crickets. No one was there.
Yep.
Why do you think that is? I mean, from a trader's perspective, do you think that it's because people like to see green candles and then when we're down in the trenches, they just don't care?
Yeah, it's definitely like a complex thing of many different like sources, and I think the core of it is though is, you know, you have new people probably in your chat right now. Shout out to all the new people. Welcome. And you know, they get excited. They have that initial energy. They find Bitcoin. They find the space. They get over the top. You know, how we were back in the day. Not as much now. Well, you always, but. And then they go out and they tell people, you know, I think that's where like how it kind of works is someone gets onto it a little earlier and then they get excited and they tell their friends are excited because they're excited. And, you know, that only happens when it goes up. You know, new people aren't joining and shorting or something. I mean, somebody, but you know what I mean? Like people typically don't start that way. It's unfortunate, but it just seems to be how it is, right? I've never seen it. I've never seen people get excited when things are going down. In my entire time, it's always when it's up. It's always kind of scary when you get those texts. I did get some, but I didn't want to believe it. Actually,
Wait,
right
which
before
text
price
did you
fell.
get? I'm intrigued.
The text of, "Hey Tom, yeah, so like about that Bitcoin, you know, like just that generic person is now interested in crypto, wants to get in." Which was, yeah, it was a little scary. That was a few days ago. My one friend messaged me and I was like, "Ah, shit." Well, top's in. No, I'm just kidding.
The Thompson. You know, like,
Yeah.
For people that haven't seen you on my show before, we know Thomas has been on many times, but how many cycles have you experienced?
What, like not three? Not three? Let me see. But do we count this one? Yeah, it's hard to
It's hard
like,
to count. So
measure,
wait,
right?
so what year did you arrive in the crypto space?
It will be 8 years next year in 24.
8 years. So like what, 2016, 2017 around?
Yeah, it was.
2016's early.
I don't even remember my life anymore. What did I do before crypto? I don't know. Who was I?
I feel the same way. It's like
I had a
people are
lot of
like,
hobbies back then, and friends and
eh.
free time. And no, I'm just
I mean, you are reformed,
true.
Tom. You are reformed. We do talk about that every F Boy Friday. But I mean, coming into crypto, I think it kind of takes over your life a little bit, right? I mean, I know Mitch Ray is in the chat. He was a stock bro, and then he got into crypto, and now he loves charting crypto. He charts his TradFi stuff too. But I mean, falling into the crypto rabbit hole, what was that like for you? Were you trading stocks beforehand? Were you looking at
No,
charts, or is this what brought you to the charts?
no, more than even just the charts. This is what brought me into financial literacy, like just
Ooh.
understanding money, investing. Well, I certainly didn't make a lot of money, so it was easy not to invest back in the times. But just the whole approach and view of money and how the world works, like it wasn't just trading, right? It was, I mean, it keeps saying investing, but having my money work for me, have a longer term plan of wealth growth, the whole journey, like even budgeting. I didn't really budget until I found crypto. Stocks really never interested me. I had a 401k at work, but like I never felt passionate about a company, right? They're here to take my money. That's it. They
Exactly.
don't love me. They don't, I don't need to go out of my way for them. And Bitcoin just kind of changed everything. It made me look at money differently, made me look at my money and finances and kind of just a way bigger picture. So I have a lot to thank for finding crypto actually.
That's amazing. I kind of relate because Bitcoin's what brought me into finance as well. When I was, 13, I ignored it. I was like, this is crazy. And then when I was 16, and I was just like, okay, so I could transfer money without banks. And I learned about the banks, like what they do, where they spend our money, what really goes on, and how really fiat is the source of all corruption for the most part. So it really opened my eyes, I think, to the world. Bitcoin opened my eyes to the world. And then crypto is obviously what brought me to the charts as well. So I kind of relate. I mean, falling into the charts, I mean, 2016, 2017 was the start of like Bitcoin running up to 20K and coming down. How do you feel about going through those type of emotions, especially you're new to the charts, you're new to investing, you're like, oh my God, money this, money that, whoa. What were your thoughts? 50 membersps, thank you.
It's going to be painful. 50
50
memberships.
memberships.
Holy. Who was that? Give them a round of applause.
Round of applause coming
There you
through.
go, retro Mike. God, what a king. Well, the environment was different. Back then, there was a lot less resources. There was really no resources on crypto other than maybe like Bitcoin Talk, YouTube, kind of like the
Bitcoin
slums of
talk,
YouTube. We'd
man.
have crypto stuff, but like you didn't have anyone. You had nothing to kind of research, but on the same time, you had no one to go to. There was nobody really around you. I think we all knew that one guy who got in Bitcoin forever ago, but somehow isn't rich, and we don't ask questions like what they did wrong. But like that was it. And I would go to that guy, and I remember asking him questions in the beginning, and he did his best, but that's really the big difference now. We have all these great content creators like Miss Teen Crypto and myself, of course.
Yes.
But just more information, more options, more to get into, and there was just a lot less than. It was more like a starved landscape. So it was definitely harder, but we were talking about price, I think, about new people getting in. Did we just say that? I don't know.
Yeah, like,
I
go
got
experiencing like
random.
the price running up like a crazy
Yeah.
amount and then coming down, and like it's just, I think it's a lot of euphoria that kicks in where a lot of people, and I talked to a lot of people from that time that just like, all right, I'm gonna buy Bitcoin, see it go up, and then oh my gosh, I'm so rich, and then it comes in right back down and kind of slaps you in the face with reality. And you kind of just have to sit with this asset and be like, okay, besides the investment, what really is it? So I think going into that revolutionary part is important. Were you coming into crypto for the money, or was it like for the gains, or was it for kind
No.
of like the digital revolution that we're a part of?
I mean, I can say no and people aren't going to believe me. But back then, like I said, there was less resources, there was less things, and it was much more weighted towards the idea
Yep.
than money. I mean, money was always a part of it, but it wasn't, it was different from today. I guess it differs from today in that sense that there was a lot more talk about the ideology and what Bitcoin was going to do for the future. And like things outside of the dollar amount. And I think that probably made the ups and downs easier to weather, though it was not easy, and it won't be easy. Anybody new here, it's not going to be easy, but it's worth it over time. Because those things aren't affected by price, right? If Bitcoin's going to take down fiat, it doesn't matter what the price is right now. But people entering the space just looking to, get rich quick or make money with no real connection to the space, I am skeptical if they can be successful. I think that the ups and downs will be too much for them.
Yeah, I think a lot of people really get kind of, like, for a lack of better words, lost in the sauce, where they're like, I don't even know what to do. Do I leverage? And, that's actually a good topic too, because going into like trading is overwhelming. When I first started looking at charts, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a whole new language. How do I even approach this? I was so scared. And you just kind of break it down. So how did you start breaking down those charts while looking at all these crazy pieces of volatility, whether that's Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies at the time, which a lot of them were ICOs back in 2017?
Yeah, there was no way to trade crypto. There was no like crypto trading like methods, right? Not that even exists now, but there was just traditional trading. And so we basically just applied that and tried to use traditional concepts. And I think some of them work and some of them aren't so successful. I got distracted, or I got off top, or like I lost the topic. What was I saying? I'm sorry, Randy.
Learning how to trade. How did you break down the charts when you were first learning?
Just by losing, right? Like just like trying stuff, losing money.
So you were just throwing in money?
What did we do wrong? I mean, for the most part, aren't we all just doing that when we start trading? You're just.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
I think it'll go up. I'll trade it. I think that's how we start a lot. But it was just like trial. Like I still say this to this day: is if you're gonna start trading, plan to lose money. You don't want to lose money. It's not your goal, but you're almost certainly going to, because trading crypto has like a tuition cost. Like it just requires a certain amount of loss for some reason. And that's why I've always preached to just buy and hold, do nothing. You can take that right out of the equation, but that is not interactive or engaging enough for some people. I think that's where trading comes in.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they sit and hodl, and it actually, I think the statistics come out that if you hodl, you're actually sometimes more successful than if you're trading, just because of like the natural movement of the market. But then people, like you said, they get kind of bored and they want some adrenaline. Then I see people trading and it's not exciting anymore. Then they kind of dabble into leverage. What are your thoughts on leverage trading? And do you think that this is something you would do, or other people are popular? Like, it's popular amongst the degens, of course, but what are your thoughts?
I said that you're going to lose money when you start trading, right? You should almost plan for it.
Yeah.
Well, if you use leverage, I mean, that still applies. You're just multiplying it, right? If you use 10x leverage, probably you're going to lose 10x more, or you're going to lose 10 times more often. Leverage also didn't exist when I started trading, and I'm actually very thankful for that, because I've seen a lot of people fall into the leverage trap. It's not that leverage itself is bad or doesn't have use. It's that people who don't know what they're doing, that's all of us when we start trading, we don't know what we're doing, jumping into much bigger stakes that they probably don't understand. So leverage is a tool. I use it all the time. It is not necessary. There's like almost a culture around using high leverage or being a degen. And I get it. I play into that too at times, but that culture, I think what happens is we've kind of disconnected from that culture. It's like, it's a meme, it's not fun to lose money. It's not cool to lose money. But this culture kind of like pressures us, kind of like tells us, well, if you're not using leverage, you're not doing this right, or you're not trading right. And I think if I had started with leverage, I would have probably lost all my money that I started with, because I managed to lose like 80-something% of it on spot.
Oh my God.
If you're new, yeah, just trade, just hang out, DCA, stack Bitcoin. And once you feel comfortable in the space, spot trade for a while. That's what I think everyone should do, or paper trade, even better.
Yeah.
But don't feel pressured. That's it. That's the whole thing. Don't feel pressured to use it. It is not needed. In fact, I would say that you are more likely to make a large amount of money in crypto not using leverage, just by doing nothing, right? Just stacking and doing nothing. I think your success rate goes from very small to virtually 100% of people who have just DCA'd Bitcoin are in profit.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. I think people kind of feel pressured because they see where people are posting screenshots of on Twitter and wherever. Oh my gosh, I just made 1,000% on my 25x leverage. And a lot of these things are just not realistic. And at the same time, the same traders that are showing you their winning trades, one, you don't know if they're fixed, the screenshots, and two, where are their losses? So I think people kind of FOMO win. And do you think the people that use leverage the most are typically during times like this where Bitcoin's kind of going up and they think they could kind of like ride this wave?
Volumes are certainly up, so there's an argument there. I'm not really sure. I think that leverage makes more sense when volatility is low, when you're not seeing these big moves. But again, what I think is right and the correct use of leverage is not what people, this is a very small percent of people use leverage the way that I think is the correct way. And at the same time, I think a very small or a very large percent of people lose their money when they trade leverage. So I think that's probably related.
Yeah.
Kind of a bad stance towards leverage and using it.
I mean, leverage scares me, especially because I'm reading these articles all the time about how when Bitcoin flashes up, shorts, millions liquidated, or even the flash crash over the weekend when Bitcoin just kind of took a little poop right there and people got wiped. So I think a lot of people are just like putting in these orders as well. What do you think of like, you know, putting in certain orders and calling in your stop losses and things like that? Like, how do you kind of like navigate those type of trades?
With every trade, I say that if I don't have an entry, a stop loss, and a take profit, I don't have a trade. And if you don't have a trade, you don't take it, right? And you set them and you let them go. You don't change it just because it goes in the direction right away that you want it to or against you right away. You have the plan. Now you have to let it go. It's out of your hands.
I like that. You have the plan, let it go. Keep coming out along. I love that 100%. So let's talk about like crypto in the moment. Like we were talking about sentiment, volumes up, people are coming back. But at the same time, we're catching like all this FUD saying that they could shut down crypto. Do you think this is going to affect the market in any way?
Who's shutting down crypto?
Jamie Dimon, Liz Warren, they said, Jamie Dimon said specifically, if I was the government, I'm going to shut down crypto. But like, that's obviously impossible. Do you think all of this FUD that's going around with Liz Warren, all these people saying that crypto's for this and that, which is completely untrue, proven untrue, do you think that's going to affect the market and people like kind of jumping in and the volume and things like that?
No, I think it's normal for the cycle. I think it's healthy. You pretty much whenever we see moves to the upside, like we've seen this year, you want FUD. I don't really know why. I think maybe it's the kind of diamond hands versus paper hands thing. Like FUD, I view FUD as information not on the chart that gets people to either buy or sell when they shouldn't, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
when we see tiny drops and there's this big FUD, like the ETF is forever canceled tomorrow, right? And Bitcoin goes down. If it only goes down a little bit and we get something like that, like that's FUD. Like it's just kind of getting retail or FOMO traders into the wrong side of the trade. I don't think Elizabeth Warren is like trying to make this happen or something like that, but this is just part of what we see. For example, the Binance's $4 billion fine or whatever,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What happened? BNB didn't even really move. BNB went down like maybe 10%. Like nothing happened. Markets tend to really overreact and over exaggerate to everything. I think it's just part of our cycle. I mean, clearly they cannot stop crypto or shut down crypto. That's like
ridiculous.
Absurd. Yeah. Have you ever noticed that skeptics of Bitcoin or critics of Bitcoin are always, whenever they put out a statement about Bitcoin, it's always just fundamentally factually wrong. And it's not even that they're making stuff up. It's that's how little they understand it. And I can almost prove that to you because I have never met someone who understands Bitcoin and is a skeptic.
Exactly. 100%.
Once you learn about it, if you had to write a report about how crappy it is, you learn about it, and by the end of the report, you're like, this isn't crappy.
You know, like the thing with these politicians is that they want us to think they're stupid, but they're not stupid because they know about this, but they just put out information because there's no one that could really go and correct them, right? It's not like little you and I can go to the White House or Capitol Hill and be like, yo, Liz Warren, like, this is incorrect. They're able to just put out whatever information they want, which is why they really stopped tweeting out all the stuff that they say, because Community Notes comes and corrects them. So if we had Community Notes on the SEC website, we'd be a lot more better off, in my opinion, because everything they say is completely wrong. And it's very frustrating. I did flip out about that on my show this morning. I was just like, how do these people get to say what they say, but have no accountability for it? So I think actually crypto puts them in check in a way, because crypto, like Bitcoin, every time they say it's going to be a dumpster fire, every time they say it's not going to make it, Bitcoin just keeps going up. And just like kind of slaps them in the face and says, hey, man, you can't stop me. You can't tell me what to do. And I think that's a part of the revolution that we're doing right now. Right now, us talking about this is the revolution. Educating people is part of the revolution, especially the charts are part of the revolution, because we see the movements in the market. Okay, are whales buying? Are they not? And especially the whales, they like to be sneaky too. How do you feel about whales buying OTC? And because we really don't see that on the market, correct?
No, you don't see it at all. It's something I've thought about a lot, actually, OTC.
Yeah.
You know, I've had the thoughts of like, well, we shouldn't have that, but that doesn't make sense. Like that would mean you wouldn't be able to like use Bitcoin without an exchange, right? That seems very anti-Bitcoin. It doesn't have any impact on the market because it's not on the market, right? It's exactly OTC, over the counter. It's somewhere else. There won't be a direct impact, but we can probably logically assume that in the greater picture, it does, right? If Michael Saylor keeps buying Bitcoin from MicroStrategy, that is Bitcoin that won't make it back to the exchanges that do impact price. So my only worry about OTC really is people buying OTC and then selling on the market, which doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. You wouldn't do that because you would just be losing money. It wouldn't really add up. But people could be like afraid of that, like, oh, they're going to keep price down. There's like a limited amount of fuel and time that could be done for, and you're going to be losing money every time. So there's really no threat. It's kind of maybe just a net neutral, or just reflects the greater trend anyway. You know, if people are buying OTC more than selling or something like that, that we're probably just bullish and the charts are probably just going up.
Yeah, because like the Black Rocks, like they're buying from probably miners, like direct from these miners. So, and then like the US government, right? Like they got their crypto or their Bitcoin because they took it from somebody. And then they go and they try to sell it on Coinbase, which is like so funny. Like, why would you do that instead of just like selling it to somebody? Kind of like they did with Tim Draper.
I'm sure Saylor will buy it over time.
Oh yeah. I just think it's very interesting that people are buying OTC, and then also I've been seeing a lot of movement from exchanges in terms of people buying crypto and taking their crypto off of the exchange. So I think that also impacts the market because there's not as much selling pressure there. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can only sell the amount of Bitcoin that are there. You know, after that, you don't have any left to sell.
Exactly. So I'm very interested. I want to see your thoughts about Bitcoin price right now, and like if you feel like pulling up some charts, that would be top notch, Zesty. I want to talk about Bitcoin and like the current thing that we're in, because if you look at like what was it, June to July or June to August on the daily, like you saw we went from 25K up to 30.5, came back down to 25, then went kind of up to where we are now. I feel like that's healthy price action, in my opinion, right? Because you want Bitcoin to go up, kind of retrace and like establish herself and then go back up so she's more confident. I don't know. How do you feel? Give me thoughts. Give me love.
Yeah, I mean, it's always great when we do get kind of the classic moves, right? Something moves up, hits resistance, moves down, finds support. Like what I think we could write in a children's book about trading. Like buy high, sell low is the name of the children's book.
I think you should write a book.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, why don't
trading
you?
book?
Yeah, 100%. Why not?
Tom Crown and the Art of Zen, or Bitcoin and the Art of
Yes.
Zen. That's I already have the name. I just don't have the book.
I mean, listen, I get the book done. Let's do it. I think that would be awesome to do a TA book. I think TA's really gone mainstream over the past few years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of people want to learn about the charts. They want to learn how to trade, especially with like the Robin Hoods of the worlds, the eToros, and obviously TradingView has blown up over the past few years. So I think it's highly significant to be looking at charts now.
It's like cultural, trending, trading in general. It's kind of wild. Never saw that coming when I started.
Yeah, I think
Never
people
saw
want
that
to know
coming.
what's going on. I think people want to see, okay, how many people are buying, who's selling, why is price moving, why is my portfolio being affected today? And getting that instant gratification of having that knowledge is the charts.
Yeah, people do love asking why. Yeah, maybe that's why trading is getting so into it. Or maybe it's just because the economy is bad and people are struggling, so they're gambling. I don't know.
That's
We were
it.
talking about like healthy versus not, and so it is always great when we get things like that. But if you look back at Bitcoin, that's just not really the way it seems to move, right? When it moves up, it tends to kind of ignore everything that we know in the sense of making healthy moves, right? It just you look at the end of 2020, it's just a blow up. It just goes straight up. It kind of ignores resistance, ignores mostly like any kind of back testing or support until it's done, and then it goes back down. So it's kind of rough because we like to kind of preach like the basics of TA and what we know and what we expect. And then it seems like in these really important moments where trends are really defined, we throw that all out the window and just
Basically.
goes up or just goes down and then does nothing for a while. And maybe you get those support resistance tests. But I mean, healthy to me is that we hit 16.5. We had Celsius
Am I
FTX,
supposed to
three
see your chart?
arrows. No, I don't even have it up yet.
Oh, okay.
We had
all
all
right.
these companies capitulate at this low, like liquidate, go out of business, and price didn't move down, and it's
Exactly.
moved up since then. That's kind of the trend defining thing for me at the moment. And I could pull up a chart.
Yeah,
I
let's
don't
do
really
it.
know what to share today.
I mean, this
Figured out
happens
do
every
this.
cycle too, where like bad actors get wiped out and we kind of wipe the slate clean and Bitcoin just keeps going. Like Bitcoin knows when she's ready to go and when all the bad actors are out.
And last year was Bitcoin's third year ever to close a red yearly candle.
Wow.
I like to zoom out in these times because we had this really kind of exciting move to the upside, and then we had a pretty exciting move to the downside just a few days ago. And it feels, especially for new traders, just kind of looking at charts, chaotic. I'm sure it feels crazy chaotic. And when you feel that way, I always like to say, go just look at the whole thing, zoom out, go to a big time frame. And I love looking at the whole history of Bitcoin because you really only see 3 years ever of a red candle. And then this year, that's felt insane, right?
Yeah.
Is really not that crazy when you look at a yearly candle. We didn't move to a low. We have really never seen a yearly candle like that, by the way, on Bitcoin with like no bottom wick. It's weird. Well, I think
Wow.
back here in January 11th. But you zoom in and you say, this is the whole year. That was all of last year. What have we done? Well, we just went up, right? We went up from wherever it closed last year, 16.5. And we've basically made it back to where we started 2022. And in that time, this big sell-off that people I'm sure are like afraid of or happy for the dip, that's right here. That's just that little wick. Like almost nothing has happened really. If we look at last cycle, this is kind of what I was afraid of hitting 48K early this year because I've been looking for it all year,
Yeah.
just based on some really basic stuff. But in 2019, so this is kind of what people are looking at right now is saying, oh, Bitcoin right now is like kind of the 14K of 2019 where we went back down to the lows. I'm not so sure. I've been looking for that, but we still didn't move back to the yearly open. And I think we do by the end of December. That's only 46.2 or kind of like 48K this area. We're just shy of it.
Wow.
But it took all year to get here. And I think that is a good thing for some reason, mostly because the candle is very unlikely on the year to end up looking like 2019. I kind of am getting the feeling, especially if we do close higher and we don't see a sell-off at the very end of the year, that we're looking at something different, and that looking back to 2019 is probably not a super successful strategy going forward. This is it just is. I don't know. I've just been waiting for this all year, and it's wild that it's finally here in the last minutes of the game. But this is all we've done. This is all I've done.
Wow.
46.2. We went to 45. That's like only a few percents. You look at kind of it's like half year, we're right back to it. Doesn't really look that much like 2019 unless next year we basically sell off to the second half of the year and then move up.
Do you think that's something we could see pre-halving? Because we also have the halving this year
Sure.
in 2024, not 2023, but 2024, which is highly significant.
People really are hooked on this 4-year cycle thing, and I think what they don't think about is that, I mean, yeah, the halving is important, and it's every 4 years, and the tokenomics of it change, and it's an important event, no doubt. But we've only had how many? 4, right? 1, 2 early. What was it? It was 1, 2 back here. 3, 16. Wait, I can do it better. 50, 25, 12.56. Okay. So we're at 6.25 block rewards. So we have 4 halvings. Like, that's not a big sample size. Like, to say, okay, this is always going to happen. I like it from an analysis point of view because that's all we have to work with. We only know what happened in the past. But it's just like the confidence that it's going to be the same. We're going to get a sell-off before the halving. I just think it's like too wishful thinking based on too little repetition. I think we see something new. There's nothing that isn't in alignment with a halving, but not having a 4-year cycle. You could have 2-year cycles, right? You could have 1-year cycles. You could have 8-year cycles. You could have all kinds of things that are kind of a factor of 4, and it would still fit in with that. But I'm not even so sure that that's necessary, right? I think at some point Bitcoin will not be as dependent on the halvings for kind of spicy moves. Wait, that's why I can't find anything. I was like, why can I not find anything on this chart? Because I had BLX open. This is kind of where we're at now. We have the yearly up on the top and the bottom, 46.2, 16.5. On this sell-off, we've done a few things. We didn't quite hit the target, but we have not gone back to last week's open, which would be a pretty usual thing to expect, especially with like a 10% sell-off. So by the end of the week, I could see 40K touched. Kind of nice it hasn't so far.
I mean, it was I think it was like 40.1 was the low.
Yeah, it was just above.
Yeah, so it's just like, I do agree with you with the cycle stuff.
We're green.
Cycle. Yeah.
We're green.
Yeah, we are green.
I think to say the run's over, it's premature. If we start trading below 40K, you can get in the mindset of that. It's like, all right, we've at least made a move up and then made a larger move down, but we haven't even done that yet. We've just made a large move up and a smaller move down. So it's kind of interesting that sentiment is changing so much just on a little bit of a sell-off. We also have our weekly golden cross coming up.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So the other cross was a death cross, right? And then we're going into the golden cross now.
This was the first one ever in February of this year, and not that much happened. I mean, we did have that event where the U.S. government sold some Bitcoin in March at the bottom.
Yeah.
But that's it. And we can say, all right, well, the same thing will happen with the golden cross. Sure. I mean, we can say that, but we had the daily golden cross, which is something that happens pretty commonly. If you guys remember that, we had it at the end of October right here at 34K, and everyone was bearish on it. Everyone, those crosses always go back. The price always goes back to the cross, or it's going to retrace on it. It seems like every kind of bearish argument that's been made the entire year has been disqualified or discredited, yet people remain bearish. I think that this is what we would look for at the start of a bull run.
I mean, sheesh, man. I think people are like, people like at 15K were like, with confidence, we're definitely going to 10. And I think, when the sentiment is like that, always pointing in one direction, Bitcoin usually does the opposite. And, a lot of people calling for like 48K, like when that is something a lot of people, including myself, are seeing on the chart, could make me feel like is Bitcoin going to surprise us and like do something zesty and different?
That is the one thing I know it will do.
Like everyone's expecting a Santa Claus rally.
Every single time you think you have it pegged, every time, it always does something different. Always.
Yeah, like people expect a Santa Claus rally. I'm not sure. Like I'm just kind of taking it day by day, especially because like over the weekend, right? You see, we were at like 43K, went down to like 41.1. Now people got like all up in a bunch. They're like, oh my gosh, are we not going to 50K, 48K anymore? Oh my gosh, are we going down to 20s? Like a lot of people are saying, oh, we're going back to 20K Bitcoin because of what's going on with Elizabeth Warren. When I think that's just crazy talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It just fits that FUD narrative. We've made a smaller move down than a move up. We get these negative things that feel real, and prices down, you're kind of still feeling that hurt, so you sell your Bitcoin or something, right?
Exactly.
It's like a mechanic of Bitcoin.
Do you,
Maybe it's because like it isn't a person and you can just say whatever you want about it. Maybe that's why
exactly.
FUD is such a thing, because it doesn't defend itself. It doesn't care. It's not aware that Janet Yellen is saying these things. Like, it doesn't impact it in any way.
I mean, you could look at January when people like Jim Cramer were like, oh, Bitcoin's going to go down bad. And we're up like 150%.
Oh, man. Jim Cramer. Well, I
We love the
don't ever
inverse.
watch his show because I think it will poison my brain and make me a bad trader.
Yeah, I
But
kind of feel that.
please continue to say negative things, Jim Cramer.
Yeah, help us out. He did it to Binance too, and we see what turned out there. I mean, what do you feel about Bitcoin dominance, though? A lot of people talk about Bitcoin dominance. Is that something you care about?
I mean, it's something that I watch. I have in the past made trades based on it, which
Really?
is yeah, all through this time period, like 2019, 20, 21, back when we all traded Bitcoin pairs, it was pretty successful to basically buy altcoins with Bitcoin when dominance was higher. And then as it fell, you just look to sell them back into Bitcoin. It was pretty successful for a long time. Now it doesn't seem to kind of rhyme the same. Doesn't have like maybe as direct impact.
Yeah.
That's a pretty ugly weekly candle. I didn't look at that.
Let's look at it.
That's
How do you feel?
that's
Tell us
kind of
your
ugly.
thoughts.
You went to a higher yearly high and it got sold off. That's not good. That's kind of looking like gold in ways. You'd move to an all-time high. Oh, this isn't one, but move to an all-time high and you just got nuked. That looks kind of that's like a toppy signal in general. That daily candle on gold.
Yeah, gold got
I love
wrecked,
using
man.
gold as an example right now. And the week, like, that doesn't mean the top's in. We did hit 55%. Let me see. We've been looking roughly, in this zone anyway. It's like 56 to 60%. Yeah, this isn't a traded chart, so I still believe there's value to charting them. And in the past, the direct value, but not as much lately, as I said. It hasn't been kind of predictable to profit using this. I think it's still important because it shows where the market is. It's a good metric for risk tolerance in a market, which is a good signal of what direction the market's moving in. Risk tolerance goes up when things are bullish and it goes down when things are bearish. Higher dominance, though, does kind of suggest that people are less risk
Interested.
tolerant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we did have a similar thing. Like, this was 2017, 2018. We actually had the lowest point in dominance. I could go on all day about dominance. There's all kinds of stuff.
Are there any
But it
like
did
pairs?
rally.
Oh, sorry. Keep going.
But yeah, it did rally roughly exactly to when the bull run started. This newer bull run in like 2020 and 21. You went from your lowest point when Bitcoin dumped to 3,000 in 2018. And then you had your highest point right before the bull market started, so December 2020. The only way I can really read this is kind of looking for a blow off top, and we can even actually, it's kind of spicy that candle looks a little similar to what's going
Yeah.
on here.
I was just about to
Yeah,
say.
you got like the slightly higher high wick, and then you went down, like much smaller version. But that marked, whether we knew it or not, the start of the bull run. So to see dominance move to like 60% and then fall down could be a really bullish thing. Could be very, very bullish.
Ooh.
That's kind of the only way I'm looking at it right now.
I'm excited. So you said you were looking at like Bitcoin pairs. Are there any like Bitcoin pairs that you look at, like ETH, Bitcoin ETH, or like
All of them.
Bitcoin Litecoin?
All of them. Oh God. Do we want to pull up Litecoin?
Yeah, let's pull up Litecoin.
It's not the most optimistic Not that it
No,
can't be, but at this given second is not the prettiest looking thing.
no.
Ew. Try
Everyone's
not to
saying
have
that when
nightmares
Litecoin,
about
everyone's
this.
saying that like when Litecoin rallies, that that Bitcoin's gonna
Yeah.
crash.
Ooh, I have nightmares about this chart. You know what though? I don't care. I don't care.
I don't
Not
care
selling my
either, man.
Litecoin. I would have could have sold a long time ago if I was just gonna quit. This is a really ugly chart. I think at some point we'll have just the biggest giga rally ever. Um, Someday. No idea. Not even gonna try to put a timeline on that. But basically, for those who aren't familiar with these charts, this is really nothing to do with dollar value. This is the value of Litecoin versus Bitcoin. And every chart has this, whether it's traded or not. I don't know. But this used to be all of the trading in crypto before Tether. Now we have it. But Litecoin hit a new all-time low. These wicks are just, I don't count them. They're not real. Like it's zero. It's just like there wasn't liquidity. So minus those wicks, this is at the lowest point it's ever been.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty savage. So I haven't been looking at this one as much. Kind of just set alerts and I'm waiting for it to give me a good alert so I can look at it again. This has been a long bleed. This is over the course of 7 years now.
That's
We have seen this
incredible.
move down. And that's wild. 7 years. Holy shit.
Wow, that's a long time. I mean,
I don't want to
Litecoin
look at
used to
that
have be
anymore. I
close to
love you,
that
Litecoin.
ratio. Yeah, she used to have be close to that ratio of like 4 to 1 with Bitcoin in terms of price. So I'm like hoping we return to that one day.
I
Optimistically.
am optimistic. I just don't have a timeline. Just
Yeah,
don't have like an estimate on that.
and
Could
that's
be
okay.
sooner. That's just it seems to always be sooner than you expect, but it always feels much farther away than it is.
100%. Sitting through and waiting for price action is absolutely miserable. Like when we were like
Yeah.
through November to January of this year was
Ooh.
miserable. We were between 15 and 17K Bitcoin for over 2 months. And then we started to take off and people were like, "No, this is a suckers rally. Like it's a bull trap." And nope, we just kept
Still
going
is.
and going.
Still is, right?
Imagine they're like, oh my god, yeah, we're going to 10K Bitcoin still. Like that's hilarious. That's hilarious. What
I,
do you think about Ethereum at all too? Because she's like, about almost halfway to her all-time high. Smash the likes, everyone. By the way, let's get 100 likes on this video.
yes, 1,000 likes.
A
Yeah,
thousand likes
Ethereum
is
against Bitcoin doesn't look that great either. Definitely not
ah.
as bad as Litecoin, but not really that great either.
Do you think she could hold
Kind of in
support?
danger. Has so far. Has so far. In
Uh,
order for this to go up, though, and maybe it's this going up influences it, but dominance pretty much has to come down in order
yeah,
for Ethereum to gain against Bitcoin. Bitcoin really, like, it can, but it's really never going to happen. Dominance moving up, and then Ethereum, BNB, XRP, like the top biggest market caps, those almost by necessity have to be losing against Bitcoin for dominance to go up because they're the share of the rest of the market, right?
yeah.
They're like the dominance that is available to be taken. So
I
this
would
has
say
been looking
that.
great. Not that many coins look very good against Bitcoin right now. And maybe that's the value of the Bitcoin dominance chart. This is why, because they're losing share of the total market cap on average.
Wow.
And Bitcoin is gaining it. Yep.
Wow, that's so interesting. So I think especially because of the ETF coming out that people are buying Bitcoin more, but there's supposed to be ETFs too. So like that's kind of where I'm torn right now. That like I would think
I'm
that
confused it's not higher. I'm
yeah,
confused
like
dominance isn't higher with the Bitcoin ETF because sure, maybe we might or we will get an Ethereum ETF at some point, but certainly it won't be right away. And so I don't understand the argument for being bearish on Bitcoin dominance right now. You would assume that it would go up with an ETF because now a new on ramp for fiat is connected to just Bitcoin, right?
yeah.
It's not
I,
going to these other places. And so it's weird that we're kind of like looking for alts to run. It just seems like I mean, they are. So that's why I suppose.
yeah,
But like,
some are
it's just an
definitely
odd
going.
scenario.
Yeah, like
It's an
we
odd
have like
scenario.
Avalanche going, like Atoms going. So there's like a bunch of altcoins that are totally making moves right now. And it didn't
Oh yeah,
matter like where Bitcoin dominance was at. Oh, Ordi too. Holy
Ordy.
sheesh. Oh my gosh, Ordi. People are like, that's going to 100 bucks. Ordi's
Maybe,
mooning. I mean, I'm
probably.
here for it. I mean, I'm
We
here to
got
sit and watch. Oh, Caspa
Caspa until
too.
recently was also just blasting all-time highs.
Yup, that was wild to watch. Wild.
It seems like coins that started like trading in maybe September or October of last year, they a lot of them have this kind of same chart where they're at all-time highs. Ordy, I guess, was May of this year. These aren't endorsements of these coins or anything, guys.
We're
This is
just looking
just
at
looking
charts.
at, yeah, just looking at stuff that's at all-time highs, like Tia or Celestia. I don't know where this came from or what it is, but it's been setting off alerts. Kind of that same, it's October of this year. Um, we're seeing a few of these, and that dominance question and the ETF question kind of makes me wonder how long they can keep these rallies up. Bonk as well. I'm
Oh
just
my
like pulling them
gosh,
out of my head.
bonk.
Yeah, just pulling them out. And these are just the ones that have broken all-time highs recently, right? These aren't even the ones that are just you're running. Like Solana's at 75. Um, Ethereum put on some good gains too. Like we have lots of coins that have done big moves. Cardano, big
Oh
move
yeah.
lately. They're moving. They're just not at all-time highs. And these are like always going to be more exaggerated because they're in kind of a new price, right? They've never traded at these prices. So they tend not to have as much resistance above them in profit taking.
Wow. That's very interesting. I think, I don't know. Do you think we had an altcoin season already, or do you think that is still to come? Because we also saw, like, the Pepe's popping off, the meme coins. What was it, like April, May ish? We were seeing a bunch of meme coins pop off, and everyone was so excited losing their noodle, and people started going into altcoins more than Bitcoin. But do you think, like, that was a meme coin season? Do you think that was, like, a for real altcoin season, or we haven't really tapped it yet?
I mean, altcoin season is just such like a hype word, right? What does it even define? Like, what is
I
it? What
agree.
even is it? There's almost always a coin doing something weird. It doesn't usually last, right? If everything else is going down, it doesn't usually keep going up. But like, there's always stuff moving. And so, well, when are we in an altcoin season? I don't know. I mean, like if you think of it this way, alts could not gain or lose against Bitcoin. They could just stay steady, right? And if Bitcoin went back to its all-time high, then the alts are moving up, right? They're moving up too. Even if it isn't like an altcoin season, because I think people think like just alts are going up.
Yeah. When they're
I
just
think dominance
outperforming
will tell you
Bitcoin.
when we get this again.
Oh yeah.
When
When
we
when
get
we see a
the
landslide.
fall down, that is when we have altcoin season. I guarantee it would be hard to look at an alt from December of 22 to May of 21 that didn't blow up, just
Wow.
like didn't go nuts. So this is a good indicator if you're looking for altcoin season. Watch dominance.
All right, let's watch
Mm,
dominance. I'm so excited. I think this is great. I'm so excited to see what's next for Bitcoin. So,
me too.
looking at the levels now, what are the major things, bullish and bearish, that you're looking at for Bitcoin?
Uh, just in the next few days, I'm looking for like that 40K mark to touch last week's open. If it doesn't happen, things are just more bullish than I think.
Okay.
If it does happen, it's really whatever. The only price I really care about, and this might be scary now, but it wasn't. The only price I really care about is now at 29.5. It's
Yep.
200 weekly. I don't think we come back to it if we're in a full bull run. If we're in a full bull run, I don't think we come back to it for years, like 3 years, maybe
3 years back to
2 years.
20K. Oh my gosh.
No,
That'd be
no,
so
no, no.
scary.
To the 200. To the
Oh,
200.
all right, all right. I got scared. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my gosh, back to
No,
20K
no.
in 3 years? I'm horrified.
820 days from March 20 until we touched it again. You probably get something like that. That's
All
a lot of
right.
days.
All
But
right.
by then, it will be a higher number. It just won't be that much higher. I see. I do a little experiment.
Yeah, let's experiment. I like
Okay.
experimenting.
Something like that. Let's just take a really, really base trend line of it and just see where it'll be in 900 days. So in 900 days, it'd be like 44K,
Wow.
maybe. Yeah. Yeah. But
Wow. Imagine
that's the only
that.
price I care about. I don't really care about falling from here even to like 34s or even like 32. Like none of this above the 200 is very worrying to me. If we go back below the 200 week, then we're looking at something really ugly. But I think the odds of that at this point, like going under and staying under, is probably like 5%. It's like very low.
All right.
That would still be a very big correction from
That would be
45K
stupid
right
big.
right here. It'd be like 34%.
Damn.
It's pretty big.
Because people were saying like, oh, I could see Bitcoin dropping another 50%. Like that's a lot. That's a big amount from
It
where we're
is.
at now. And then you have the cross, which I'm so excited for
I
the
like the
golden
cross.
cross. When is that supposed to
It'll be
play out?
fun
Like
to
in the
tweet
next few
about.
weeks?
It should be like it was on track for the first week of January. It might have picked up again though. Let me see. Last time I looked at it, it was January like 1st.
Oh, that would be super interesting. Starting off the new year with the golden
Yeah,
cross.
still roughly January 1st. Yeah, it's
Well,
pretty cool timing.
Didn't you say there was something that happened like in January of this year? Like some sort of or am I messing up? What was that? What was there a signal at the beginning of the year that we were talking about? I'm trying. Maybe
Probably.
I'll remember later. But that's so interesting. That's so interesting. I'm so excited for January. Then a golden cross in January, starting off the new
And a
year.
new year. Yeah.
Whoa! And it's the
Well,
year of the
this year
halving.
has sucked. This year has sucked, except
So
for
bad.
October.
Yeah.
October to now has been good, but this year, even though price has gone up, I can't complain about that. We did spend almost 320, 330 days just right here doing this.
So boring. And you know what,
was really
Tom?
boring.
On the weekly, speaking of the weekly, we closed 7 green weeks, and we haven't seen that since 2020.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was before
Is
we
that
really
7?
took off. Isn't that crazy?
Is it 8?
I think this one was 7 or 8.
One,
The
two,
last one was 7. If you look,
7,
it
8.
started October of 2020. We closed
Yeah.
7 green weeks, and then there was a little bit of a hammer there. But isn't that
What
neutral?
about
October?
what about 2 weeks? I like
2
2
weeks.
weeks better.
Why do you like
Yeah,
2 week
look at
time
that.
frame?
Just because look at this.
Ooh,
Yeah, 8 2-week green candles in a row. Let's go.
as Paris
1,
Hilton would say,
2,
that's
3,
hot.
4, 6, 7. 7. So wait,
Is that a death cross?
7. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh.
Price did not care.
No, not at
Did not
all.
care. No one really looks at the 2 week. Still valid. Still hella valid. I wish I would have seen that when we were below it though, because then I would have been even more confident. That's pretty cool.
So you think that maybe that the death cross could be like an inverse indicator sometimes for Bitcoin? It seems like she doesn't care
well,
about it.
She does not seem to care. This would definitely be the first one to ever happen.
Dang. Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
Well, that
we
means,
just
you know what that
witnessed
means? We get
history.
another golden cross coming eventually.
Let's freaking
Eventually.
go.
This one is not quite ready for me to give it a timeline.
Oh, no way. No way.
No.
She's like open
No.
arms right now.
Well, if we go right up to all-time highs and blow past them, you might get something like that. Like it might cross quickly.
Wow.
But you'd have to be like up here.
That's intriguing.
That's interesting. I've never seen that. That's cool.
Let's go to the
Oh,
3
this one.
week. Not
Yeah.
yet.
Now I'm going hunting. Now these
Oh,
Whoa.
look at that.
Whoa.
Guys, we're seeing
Whoa.
things. And it's crossing
is-
right now, right?
That is a 4-week. Yeah, that is a 4-week golden
4
cross. Never happened before.
Whoa.
Ooh,
Guys,
it happened
we're
at the first
witnessing
week of
history.
December. Yep.
Guys.
That's. I wonder. This is weird. Like they're so flat. Actually, it has happened. It happened way back here for some reason.
In
That's
2018.
weird.
But it doesn't
Yeah.
seem like it was like a real one. It was
I
like
don't
kind of
even
a
know.
fake
These are
one.
weird. I wonder if it's like 4-week. It's not calculating it right because it's very odd that they're so close together. They shouldn't be.
Wow. Let's freaking go. I'm so intrigued by this,
Yeah.
Tom. I'm learning
Yeah.
so much from you today.
Chart nerding. Chart
Yay, nerding. Guys, smash the like
Really.
for nerdism. We have 13 more likes until 100. We love nerdism out here. Tom, how do you embrace your inner nerd?
I just look at charts all the time.
Me
That's,
too.
that's pretty much it. Play video games, look at charts, talk about magical internet money, classics, the classic nerd stuff. Isn't that what all nerds do?
Yeah, that is what nerds do. We like to embrace our inner nerdism on this channel. I'm a big fan of nerdism because I feel like in crypto, we're a bunch of nerds for the most part. Of course, there's like cool kids here, you know, that sat at the cool kids table. But I think a lot of us are just like
We are the cool
misunderstood
kids.
people. We are now, nerds
it's
are now
our
the cool
table.
kids. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is like we were all like considered like nerds and weirdos. And then we came into crypto and we're all like understood by each other. And then it's like the charts are just like a little hug for us. I just enjoy it so much. And I'm happy that we're all here nerding out together.
Me too. It would be much less enjoyable without friends and community doing the same stuff, going through the same stuff. It would be much harder.
Exactly. Like when Bitcoin's down, we all get to talk sheesh on Twitter and all of this. And then we get to come on, you know, YouTube and just like talk about it all. It's just, I get so excited about all of it. I think watching the chart, seeing, you know, I don't know if you've seen my streams where I'm watching the minute chart as Bitcoin is taking off. I'm like, let's freaking go, Bitcoin.
Jumping up and down with the candles.
Literally.
It goes up, you jump.
No, literally. I mean, what's a price for Bitcoin that's going to make you jump on stream?
Right now?
Like if you were watching the charts right now and Bitcoin was
48K.
flying, what price? 48K is gonna make you jump? It's gonna make you
It'd
jump?
make me jump on stream. Yeah. What, oh, you mean like you literally jump? Like,
Yeah, like woohoo!
well,
Like,
I guess I just did it for at whatever price it is. Jump? Let's say like 100K. 100K I'd jump.
Oh, you're so cute, Tom. You're so amazing. And I think that color looks good on you, Tom, by the way. I'm a big
you.
burgundy person.
Ooh, Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, I like burgundy. I'm surprised you didn't wear a tank top today. Are you cold?
No, I didn't go to the gym. People are like, why you wear a tank top? It's because I just got back from the gym. And what am I going to do? Change? I'm going to change.
Yeah, no. So you have been hitting the gym. You're gymming, right?
I'm right there with you. Yeah, we got to get fit for 24. It's going to be a big year. There's going to be a lot of photos. We're going to have to look good.
Yeah, exactly. You got to pump iron to pump markets. Duh. Hello.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's been working.
No, it has been. Don't you feel good after you go to the gym? You feel good? Like, you're like, oh,
The best.
yeah, I could freaking take on the world right now.
The best. I find that I just, in a good way, care about things less. Like in a good way. Like the things I need to care about less, I care about less after the gym. Like a trade that's stressing me out a little bit. I go to the gym, I was like, I don't care. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Go either way. Like I'm good. But that's helpful because it's cutting back on those like excess emotions.
Yeah, Dave in the chat said Tom wants to rave. Yeah, one day we got to do a rave together, and like one day we'll do a video. We'll like see each other again, and like we'll just like do a dance party. I love going to crypto events because like they turn on the music and all the nerds are all on the dance floor and just like dancing. We look ridiculous. Like I love it so much. It's honestly great.
It's easy to be a good dancer there.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
I'm not a good dancer.
Because everyone's just like, you know, that's like me, like the Donald Trump, you know, like the Donald Trump who goes like this at his events, like that's me. That's hilarious.
You do it better though. You did it better.
Do you think so? What do you guys think in the chat?
Absolutely.
Yes or no emoji?
I would take it over his any day.
Oh, Tom, you're too sweet trying to gas up my horrible dance moves. I appreciate you so much.
We just need more dancing.
No, we do need more dancing. I think, you know, I feel like, you know, if I really went to the South, learned how to like line dance and stuff, like it would be easy, simple, and we would all freaking rock it. I think we should do it. I think we should.
All right.
100%.
Done. Next time we're in Texas, we're line dancing.
Oh, 100%. You only got to tell me twice. All I got, I'm going to walk in to the saloon or whatever. Someone's going to teach me and we're going to get down, bro. I'm so excited.
Deal.
Yay! All right, guys. If you guys are ready to line dance, if you guys are ready to take on the charts, if you are feeling the overall zest of this live stream, make sure you guys smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and share this stream out with friends. Educate people on Thomas Crown's knowledge because he helped me so much today. You helped me so much, Tom, and I appreciate you. You're a dear friend of mine. Where can everybody find you and learn more about your zest and love of life and charts?
On the internet. Find me on the internet.
We love the internet.
On YouTube, on Twitter, on everywhere. Just don't follow the bots, not the fake ones. And I'm not going to message you.
No. Oh, the imposter problem is so horrible. So if you guys want to find Tom, he's at Tom Crown Crypto on X, at Tom Crown on YouTube, and tomcrown.io. You guys could check out as well. All links are in the live chat as well as the description. Tomcrown.io has his links for his Patreon, Trading View, Crown Analysis, which Coins Chick helps write as well, right? Is that correct?
She does. Very
Shout out to
talented
Coins
writer.
Chick. Coins Chick is awesome. She always pops in the streams, always being so wonderful. So shout out to Coins Chick and Tom's team. You are awesome, Tom. Thank you so much for joining me. I know you got things to do, charts to look at. So I hope you have a great day. I hope everybody in the chat has a great day. Make sure you guys smash the like again, subscribe to the channel, share it out with friends. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow, 9:45 a.m. for the Daily Zest. Stay zesty. Peace.
I froze.